All right, hello everybody. We have a brand new map pool. It's finally out in StarCraft. Unfortunately though, new maps, new problems. The StarCraft community is particularly averse to change, for those who don't know. We don't like variants. We're not like Age of Empires where all the maps are crazy and different and constantly rotating. We are a community that likes things to stay the same. But there's also, we like things to be quality controlled, and we don't like, single pylons walling off ramps and making solo lose GSL matches and that sort of stuff. So let's take a look here at this Reddit thread, and we're going to go through a bunch of different issues, bugs, things people have reported on exactly what's going on. So, compiled list of all issues, bugs, disputable features introduced in the new patch here. Thread on Reddit from 2 days ago. Missing Archon mode. Basically, Archon mode is just conspicuously missing. No announcement. We don't know why. And I've asked people, I've just done a poll in my chat here live on stream, and I've said, who's actually played Archon mode recently? And there's a few people who said they have. Some have said 40-minute search times, 10-minute search times. They said, I play more, but it's too inactive. It's really hard to actually find games. So was this a conscious choice from them to say, let's just take away that functionality? People will have to do custom games to play Archon mode. Maybe. I don't think it's the biggest deal for me because, unfortunately, it wasn't the most actively used feature, but it's just weird to have an entire game mode disappear from the ranked matchmaker with no announcement ahead of time, right? But this is kind of the thing. Blizzard doesn't communicate that much at the moment. We don't really hear things. The next thing is the 8 map pool. Now, this is the biggest and craziest thing. We've always had a 7 map pool, and it kind of sucks because there's usually 1 or 2 maps which don't get played much until you get to the semis and the grand finals, best of 5, best of 7s of a tournament, and they decide grand finals, the map which no one wants to play, and they don't get much practice on, which I've always said, bigger map pool, let's go, for quite a few years. A lot of people have been asking for that. Now this time, they said, even in this post, Beckett Industries, and everyone was like, wait, isn't it only meant to be 7 maps? And as soon as this came out, and I saw this post, I'd woken up, the news had come out a few days before, and people said, and I even said in my last video, Beckett's not meant to be in there. People have confirmed, we've had confirmation for people at Blizzard and people in the know, Beckett, that's a mistake, it's a typo, it won't be in there. Well, guess what, guys? When the map pool came out, Beckett was still in there. And at this point, I went, wait a second. And people were like, oh, it's a mistake. How is it still in there? I mean, they're saying, how is Beckett still in here? What's going on? And I said, wait a second, where has that actually stemmed from? Like, what's going on that this map is still in it? And wait a second, I'm like, is it really a mistake? And people are saying, yeah, it got confirmed. And I kept asking, and I said, everybody, where has it been confirmed? People said, well, the people said, Pig. And I was like, what? Who? Where? When? So we've done some research, we've been doing some detectiving, and we've basically gone through and tried to figure things out. So we went here, we found a thread from Heyoka talking about the new maps, and Gemini immediately responded, hey, is 8 maps a mistake? What's going on? And Dimitri, who is a fantastic tournament manager for the ESL Pro Tour, great head admin, tournament manager, guy who's in the know at ESL, but I don't know how in the know he is in terms of actually communicating with Blizzard or anything like that, right? He runs tournaments. He said 8 maps surely is not intended. The ugly duck to be cast out is Beckett Industries. And this is the only evidence. Everyone has said it's been confirmed by Blizzard. Dimitri does not work for Blizzard. He does work for ESL. He does work for the ESL Pro Tour. And I've said, I've hunted far and wide. People said, well, TLO tweeted. TLO tweeted as well, Pig. And I've said, what? Okay, let's find. Where's that TLO tweet? Do we still have that open? It's somewhere here. Let me, we'll bring it up. Basically, though, TLO tweeted saying the same thing. He said, guys, look, here's new maps. This one, Beckett's a typo. And so I immediately went there, guys. And I've opened up Discord here with TLO, and I've said, I'll read this out to you. Hey, do you have any inside info about Beckett? I'm covering the new maps. I'm curious, where is this Beckett is a mistake? Where does that come from? TLO said, well, it definitely shouldn't be there, just as Sinistro commented just now. So Sinistro, Dimitri, and I said, okay, well, that's kind of interesting. So I went and I'd actually tweeted at Dimitri and I'd said, hey, any actual evidence is just guess. He said, the intended behavior was supposed to not have Beckett there. Something fell apart in the process. What I can guarantee is ESL Pro Tour competitions will be 7 maps only, no Beckett. So as far as we can tell, guys, there was communication between the Pro Tour, Blizzard, and Beckett was meant to be removed because they want the same map pool on the ladder as in the tournaments. Why not have extra maps that aren't in the Pro Tour on the ladder? Who cares, right? Have 1 or 2 extra maps in there. It doesn't matter. But we don't seem to have any direct communication from Blizzard to clarify this. So I'm going to say bonus. We get 1 extra map in the pool. Yeah, it's a rush map. I don't care. I like it. I like the fact that we've got more maps out there, even though that one does force you to play quite differently. So as far as it is right now, it's like Blizzard confirmed it's a mistake. It's a typo. It won't go through. I think there's a whole game of just rumors getting created, and there's no clear communication with Blizzard right now or any feedback on that. So heads up, guys, it looks like Beckett's here to stay, is my opinion. Uncreepable area on Curious Minds. Check this out, guys. Up here in this section of Curious Minds, there are these fans, and basically they actually are spraying out creep poison. So they've got like a low level kind of, it's like a bug spray, and that's why creep can't grow in this area. That's my theory. People have said they've gone in the map editor, taken a look, and apparently this is a no creep zone has been placed there, and they're not sure if it's meant to be there or not. I haven't heard back from the map maker yet about that. If anyone has, please post in the comment section, and we'll try to follow up down in the comments and in the chat, see if anyone's actually heard the map maker's explanation. I looked through a few Reddit threads. I didn't see a response from them. But like I said, there's so many different things I'm covering here. I haven't had a chance to read through everything. So that's one I've been a bit lazy on. Is it just visual, or is there actually no creep? Good point, chat. It is actually no creep spread. As you can see, the queen, much slower there. And I actually tested it. The creep, even though this creep tumor should go to about here, it wouldn't spread across. It counted as if it was almost like a cliff from here to here. So it wasn't until I actually got creep on this side that I could spread this tumor across the gap over here. So just an interesting little tidbit. Honestly, it's not the most important thing. Could be a small little gap in the creep when you're fighting Zerg versus Terran up here or something. So Zerg units will be a little slower there. I don't know if it's going to make that big difference. And just think of it as a feature for now is what I'm thinking of. It's not a very big corridor. I don't think it's going to be highly impactful. Just a funny little feature of the new maps. And yes, that is mirrored on both sides of the maps, guys. As you can see here, my mate Ryan built a hatchery and his larvae were popping out and dying. So then the larvae actually started popping out on the corner of the hatchery, but every now and then they wander off. So don't build a hatchery in the one spot where creep can't exist, or your larvae are going to keep wriggling off like a baby bird falling out of the nest, unfortunately. So be careful, protect your larvae, everybody, because that's bloody sad seeing these larvae wriggle their way off. No, not another one. Ow, let's stop looking at that. That really hurts. So the other thing, guys, that everyone's been talking about is the critters are everywhere. And I had Starduck, Australian pro gamer, hop in my chat the other day, and he said, did you know, because there's critters inside the main bases on these maps, all of the maps have multiple critters, one or two inside your main base on the new maps. Some of them have dogs, which you can't click on. You actually can. It won't show up the circle around them, but you can click on them. You can't attack them though. These guys you can attack to get them out of the way. So why does it make Cannon Rush RNG? He said, well, basically, sometimes you go in to get your cannon wall off, and one of these guys will get in the way and stop you putting your pylon down. And even that fraction of a second allows them to get in there with their workers. So he's actually said a few cannon rushes have been blocked by the critters on these maps. Now, so you might actually choose to leave your critters alive as maybe there's a very small percentage they will block a cannon rush. Otherwise though, guys, you can either attack them with your units, or you can actually spam click on any critter in any Blizzard game. And if you click it, just left click about 20 times, it will die. So you can do that, including to the dogs on Berlingrad. There's a very cute dog in your base. I don't like the dog. It makes me feel bad when I blow it up, but that's what you've got to do. Now, this is something a lot of people have argued with me. They've said, Pig, I've just had a couple of GM players in my chat say, it doesn't work. We tried it. It does not work. I've tried to kill the dogs. You can't. They block the things. So let's watch a little clip here and see exactly what goes on when I'm trying to teach the player Ryan, who made it from silver to GM in a year, an absolute prodigy of a player, and I'm trying to explain to him how to make that work. So just spam left clicks on it. What are you doing?
Doesn't do anything. Fuck.
You know you're right clicking, right? Are you fucking stupid?
No, oh.
I could see your rally point changing. That's a right click, you fucking donkey.
I told you I was gonna work with boxing.
So we could see him literally just spamming right click repeatedly and going, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? I had other people saying, no, you need to box. You need to box. And I was like, guys, you know boxing is just a left click that you've held down, right? Absolutely, this is the state of the North American Grandmaster scene. What can I say? Anyways, guys, let's keep looking at them. Check this one out, guys. We've got another really cool clip here. This one's from Steadfast.
Who he is? Oh, what? What? Hold the phone. What? That's a jumping location.
Let's watch just the start of that one more time. I wonder if Acheron just figured it out then. No, he knew about it. You can see he's spamming click on it. So he'd figured this out beforehand.
Oh, what? What? Hold the phone. What? That's a jumping location.
Now, I didn't actually see this before, but I've just noticed there's a top comment right here that says, hey, I've actually tested this ledge. You can get 4 Widow Mines up there, and you can also get 3 Lurkers. Siege tanks can't fit. Okay, and they've actually gone and posted some screenshots. 4 Widow Mines. So I thought it was like just a little ledge on the end of it, but it's actually this big ledge all along the side. 4 Widow Mines can get up there, or 3 Lurkers, which is insane. I thought Lurkers were almost as big as Siege tanks, but I guess they can kind of get on top of each other, where Siege tanks really take up a lot of space when they all siege. That's kind of crazy, right? I feel like on a cliff out there on the map, that's really annoying. Good point though from Shadow Being. That ledge is way out in butt F Egypt. There's no way that's going to significantly impact balance or create new types of cheeses. Just a weird, interesting terrain feature. I agree. If this was like right outside the natural or the third, an area you're already going to be pushing, super abusive potentially. Up there, it's kind of like, okay, not the biggest deal. So we'll see how it goes. But either way, pretty damn hilarious. And I'm still shocked that you can fit 3 Lurkers on top of that bad boy. Could you fit tanks up there? Chat's asking. I don't think so. That's another thing. So 2 tank spot on Hardwire. Now, not just Hardwire, but also Pride of Altaris, guys. There are actually 2 maps in the map pool where you can siege 2 tanks. So, and that's on the ledge, the Reaper ledge. Now, the thing is, if your opponent has some Stalkers or whatever, it's not the craziest thing in the world. You can just kill it, right? Number 1. Number 2, I tried to do it yesterday versus Neuro, and I just lost me tank drop straight away to a Spore Crawler put next to the ledge. It didn't do anything. So the 2 tank spots, a lot of people are like, oh no, there will be scenarios where someone gets blindsided by it and it will look super OP. Essentially, if you guys are playing Hardwire, just be careful about that. Because there's kind of a spot that can hurt you a little bit, right? So Hardwire, if we look in game, is this one. So there's a spot just below the main, about there, and about here. And same on Pride of Altaris, there's a Reaper ledge here or here. And you could fit 2 tank siege there, a couple Lurkers technically. Doubt we're ever going to see that used. There'll be one game where it looks super broken. 90% of the time, it's not going to be that effective. More importantly, it's stronger just as a marine drop location. Yeah, you could just put your marines there to be annoying, because it's kind of like above the 3rd mineral line. So, you know, it could be an annoying spot to throw some marines where zealots can't get on top of them and they could like heal up and stuff. Obviously, if they've got a bunch of queens or stalkers around, they're going to kill your stuff anyway. So honestly, I don't think it's that big a deal. Now, here's a big one, guys. We've got multiple liberated dead zones. So basically, on Berlingrad, Hardwire, and Glittering Ashes. Now, this was incredibly scary when I first saw this post from Falcon Paladin, because Falcon Paladin said, look, guys, he said, several spots a liberator can fire on your mineral line without being able to be hit by stalkers or queens on these new maps. It seems Glittering Ashes, Berlingrad, and Hardwire have this problem. And Starving Box said, is that with or without the upgrade? Paladin said without. And I was like, no way. I was like, that looks like it should be plenty of space. Because normally, visually, there needs to be very little space behind the mineral line for that to be the case for a non-range liberator. It needs to be like, the edge of the map should be about here. So I was like shocked. I was like, wow, I can't believe. I was like, surely that's range lib. I didn't scroll down. So I believed it. I went and tested it, and I realized the same as everybody else who's responded. If I just scrolled down the Twitter thread, which most people probably didn't, they just went, oh no, it's like imbalanced for liberators. Oh, took Falcon Paladin at his word. He made a mistake. He clearly accidentally had lib range when he tested it. And people said, these are range liberators. Look, I tested it, didn't work. A bunch of other people said, dude, this is lib range. A bunch of different people said, dude, I tested this. This was lib range. So we went in, tested it all. Now, if you get lib range, yeah, you can't get hit, and you can deny like 1 or 2 mineral patches, especially against stalkers. Now, what's not being taken into account is how do you get the liberators back there, number 1, guys? You're going to have to fly through a lot of the edge of the map. And this is not a map where you can fly there just through dead space, where you're safe. You're flying over flat ground, where queens, spores, stalkers can intercept you. And you've had to invest in a fusion core and a very lengthy upgrade. So it's one of those things where it's not a bad ranged lib spot. But we have spots that are way better than this on Blackburn currently. Blackburn has an amazing spot behind your natural and behind your third where range libs could be super abusive. I saw one person get creative with it maybe a month or two ago, and I went, oh, that's so clever. That works really well because no one's expecting it, because no one's done range libs versus Zergs in friggin' years. So I don't really think this is a very common thing we'll see. I think because of the publicity this is getting, you guys might run into it a little bit on the ladder where you're like, oh damn, libs are coming in and they're killing stuff. I wouldn't freak out too much because like I said, it's a huge investment. So if you do run into range liberators, this comes back. A lot of people haven't played against it. What do? Take an extra base or two immediately and just pull workers off. Just pull all the workers off. Don't let your workers, if they're just denying 1 or 2 mineral patches, don't just pull probes off those 2 mineral patches, because your other probes will go, oh, there's a free mineral patch, and they'll go over and get themselves killed. Pull off almost all the mineral line if you can't deal with it, and take a new base, and you'll lose some mining, but they've invested a lot of tech. As long as you don't let them kill like 30, 40, 50 workers, take another base, tell them to start long distance mining there, and if you're a Protoss, you've gone Blink, get a Stargate, and build 1 Void Ray to go clear them all up. If you're Zerg, unlock a Spire, so you can get a few Corruptors or Mutors to deal with it. Bit of a pain, but you know what's actually better with Zerg is if you've already opened Roaches, Ravagers can deal with this. You'll lose one, but it's worth losing one for the Liberator because of the upgrades they've invested in it. So you can run in with 3 Ravagers, bile it down, you'll lose 1 Ravager, 2 if you kind of mess up the micro. You just got to make sure you aim for the line underneath the Liberator, which you can see Falcon Paladin doesn't have turned on here. So you got to aim underneath it. Use those. Make sure you have the setting turned on inside StarCraft, because it's a little bit deceiving because we're looking at the game from an angle where you've actually got to aim that. The other thing is, guys, most of the time your opponent's going to screw up and put that Liberator too far forward where you actually can hit it with Stalkers or Queens. And even if it's just 1 or 2 Queens or Stalkers able to hit it at a time, guess what? Move up to the edge, spam the transfuses, lose a Stalker or 2, lose a Queen, you'll take it out. Not only that, if they've sieged up, in a lot of these spots we tested, you could get a really good angle from one side, but then they could hit you from the other side. So test both sides, guys, and that'll be really, really huge to see exactly what you can do there. Chat says, Aspire? Lol, for 1 unit, that's quite an investment. If your opponent goes range lib for 1 unit, then they're a little bit of an idiot. They're going to make at least, it'll be 1, and then a second one will come, and then a third one will come. So they'll usually go 3 or 4 range libs at least. So they're going to be able to deny like 3 or 4. It depends. If there's only 1 spot they can abuse on 1 mineral line, you could just skip the Stargate or skip the Spire completely and go, cool, you deny that base, that's fine. Like I said, take 2 new bases, transfer the workers, and completely ignore the Liberator. But if there's a map where there's 2 or 3 or 4 bases where they can get a spot like that, you're going to need to get the air out. So it's always a bit of a cost choice, guys, in terms of what you want to do. Aspire and Corruptors is expensive, though. How will I do that? You got to remember, your opponent has had to invest in it much earlier in the game. If you're on 70 workers, dropping a Spire, building a few Corruptors is very cheap, compared to a player rushing a Starport, rushing a Fusion Core, rushing an upgrade, and getting those libs across the map. They are investing in that much earlier in the game, giving up lots of Hellions, lots of Marines, lots of Stim, fast third command centers. So it's all about thinking about when things are invested. Never fall into the trap of going, oh, I need to take a cost-efficient trade head-to-head at every point in the game. It's all about how you get there. Why is Zerg able to be so cost-inefficient and still smash people? It's because they built a big enough economy. They've got enough of the map. The other person's focusing on tech. You have a bigger economy by 20 workers. You can be as inefficient as you feel like. So anyway, let's get focused back on this. Have I missed anything? I think we've covered everything, guys. Have we though? Let me check. I think we've covered it all. So that is the list of all of the different features. We've got random Reaper cliffs. We've got Liberator spots that, in my opinion, are not that big of a problem. Just have fun dealing with those. We'll see if Terrans even pull it off. Remember that Liberator range is not as long as it once was, but it is a bit more accessible because you don't need a tech lab with it. I'm sure there's going to be people who just die because they're not used to dealing with it. We also have a classic BC Carrier Ultra skins available for purchase. This one's good. So overall, guys, we've got some weird little features like the uncreepable area that seem like they're unintended. We've got some liberated dead zones, but only with lib range, so they're not a big problem. Reaper pillars in the middle of the map. And we also have no actual confirmation on if Beckett's going to get taken out of the ladder pool. I would say it's there to stay for this whole season, and I hope we keep 8 maps or even go 9 or 10 maps in future seasons. I don't expect we'll get any communication from Blizzard on that one, or whether it's a mistake or not. Fingers crossed, though. We keep getting more maps accidentally thrown into the pool, and it would be cool if they give us an extra veto or two to compensate for that, so that it doesn't actually hurt anyone's ladder experience. I hope you guys are enjoying the new maps. I know I certainly am. Definitely enjoying all of the movement on Berlingrad, on Glittering Ashes, these gigantic maps. So it's been a lot of fun. Definitely involves different play styles a little bit on some of those giant maps. Bit harder to finish each other off, but a lot more chances for comebacks as well. I had a TVT where I just could not get killed despite being at half the army supply all game on Berlingrad, because it's just such a big map and I just had so many chances to just expand to new bases and defend and hang on. So guys, thank you for watching this, and I'll see you guys. Let me know any other abuses you found, if any of the map makers shared any views about things like the uncreepable zone being an intended feature. Let me know in the comment section, and we might do a follow-up if we discover any more issues. For now though, I'd say 9 out of 10 on this map pool. It seems fun. All of the bugs and disputable features in my mind aren't big losses. I think they're all fine. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.